up a Pavan Lakhat minute, multiple time Raiders club champion, one of the best Madden players in the world right now. Pavan, man, good afternoon from the East Coast, a great morning to you on the West Coast there. What's going on, man? Good morning.
Good morning to you as well. My sleep schedule's a little messed up, but I needed this because obviously Madden 22 comes out very, very soon. And when it does, I'm going to have all the time in the world. So, this is a good thing. Me getting up a little earlier. I woke up like at 8, which is, it's not too early, but, that's actually good for me to, this is the day I'm going to start waking up early. So when Madden 22 comes out, I'll be good to go. So
that's what I'm talking about. You got those hours to put in, I'm sure, bro. And I want to hear all about that. Of course, what goes into the preparation of a world-class, esport player like you. But like we were talking a little bit about in the pre-show, kind of what I'm trying to do here with these interviews is we get a good sense for you as a player and as an entertainer, and like the super locked version of Pavan that we see on TV when Madden's on TV and whatnot. But a lot of time, like we don't have occasion to talk about the origin story, like the path that you've walked, the things that you've had to kind of overcome. You know what I mean? En route to being the dude that we see here today. So that's kind of my plan. Like I kind of want to get a better sense for you, as Pavan, outside of Pavan, the Raiders club champ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. And that's a really good point because you can tell right now I'm kind of chilled, mellowed. Sometimes in the tournaments, obviously I kind of get a little amped, but it's for due reason. But I'm a more quiet type person. But if I get to know you, I'm gonna be very talkative. And like a couple years back, I would probably not even consider doing this. But over the years, I've worked on my people skills, my talking skills, my conversation skills. And before I kind of be like a little nervous doing this, now I'm completely chilled. And that's just kind of with the experience of playing in these high level games and these high stake games, I should say. And then I've also had a couple opportunities to commentate, whether it be with Mutthead, and that's just an easy job to just talk about the game I play rather than even have to playing it. Or even in the EA tournaments, they had me commentate one time. It didn't go too well. That was my first time. I was super nervous, but it gave me the experience I needed to be able to do things like this.
Yeah, bro, I can tell you're at ease, super comfortable, and that like makes my job super easy. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I can learn from you here, bro. So I suppose I mean let's start at the beginning, as we sometimes do. What was like your family home like growing up? Are you still at the crib? Like, is it mom and dad here, around? Man. You got siblings? What's the home like?
Okay, so my pops and my mother. I think my father came here in like the 90s or even like not early 80s, but like late 80s.
Yeah.
And he was here, like he was one of those people that immigrate and they kind of had a hard time when they first settled in. So my pops is everything for me. He had to work like 2 shifts, like one at Taco Bell, late night. And then I forgot what the other one was, but he didn't go to, college. He had to help out his mother and his sister. He helped his sister through college. And working help for paying for bills, housing, whatever it may be. And my father's mother, I don't think she was able to work because at that time she had gone a little ill, or she was just getting a little older, so it was just all him. And I think he had come back to India to there's kind of like some arranged marriage system. I don't know if they were arranged, but they get along really well. So he had come back to India, and they already picked out everything. The wedding was already set. Got married to my mother. My mother came over late 90s, and I was born 2000. So I was the first of 4 kids. I'm the oldest. I'm 21. I just turned 21 on July 4th. So, it was like 20 days back or so. And then, 2 years later, my brother was born. His name is Maaannn. Then 2005, my sister was born, Anna. She's about 15. And then last sister named Jana. She was born 2009. And 4 siblings. I'm the oldest, so you know how it may be being the oldest. Every day you learn something new. And we're here in Yuba City, California. It's near Sacramento. That's what I always say, because no one really knows what or where Yuba City is.
Right.
So I always say near Sacramento or North Cali. And I've been here since 2006, and I love it here. It's a little I feel like it could be better, as in kind of not as modernized as some other cities, and there's really not that much going on a lot of the times compared to like a Sacramento or San Francisco. Those are the cities I'd love to be in, and I just feel like I thrive in there with the technology and just everyone, just business is booming type of vibe. Here it's not so much of that, but we make our ends meet, and I find stuff to do every single day.
For sure, man. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, yeah, making ends meet, to say the least. I have your banner up here that you've done fairly well in the Madden game.
I appreciate that, man.
Hell yeah, right. What's the relationship with your siblings? Is it like a competitive household? Do y'all all like video games? Are you kind of the gamer of the household and like help mom and dad hold the fort down together? What do y'all like to do together with your siblings?
Okay, so I've always been into games, and so has my brother. Amin, he's 2 years younger than me. He's always been into games as well. We've kind of were competitive, but at times we'd always help each other out. Oh, I'm stuck on this level. Could you help me out? Oh yeah, sure, I got you. How about this level? Do you know how to do this one? And this is like way back when like 5-6 years old. So we were growing up playing video games. My pops kind of got us into that as well. He kind of liked them as well, and
nice.
He likes sports, so he got me into video games and sports. So that's just that's what it is right now. But we were growing up playing a lot of video games, and around like high school, middle school-ish area, we kind of split off into different directions as games. He loves his first person shooters. I enjoy them as well, but I personally enjoy something that I could think about a lot. Obviously, Madden is a huge chess game, and anything that gets my mind thinking, or I'm stuck on a level, or I need help with this, or even I got to look up the level, like how to beat it. That's my type of video game. He enjoys his first person shooters. He plays like Apex Legends. I think he was on Fortnite a lot, but that game he doesn't really enjoy too much anymore. He says there's too many sweats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's not lying about that, but yeah. And the funny thing is too, my youngest sister Janice, she's like 9 to 10 years old. She just got started into playing Valorant. So like that's very encouraging for me. I want to get her PC up. Definitely she has to focus on school first because it's such a young age. She's about to be in the 7th grade, and what's it called? It's like I want her to focus on school a little bit, then kind of like reward her. So maybe like a year when she gets like out of middle school into high school, I'll get her like a nice setup, because she is a gamer, man. She's making over here, like I'm downstairs in the living room. She's using my mom's laptop. She's making call outs. Oh, he's one shot. Oh, he's over here. I'm like, whoa, that was me like 5 to 6 years ago playing first person shooters. So
I love that.
It's kind of insane. So I'm definitely gonna get her a setup, and you see the Pokemans and the Valkyries, and obviously there's that always somewhat hope, like, oh, you never know what could happen with a girl gamer, but definitely gonna support her when the time comes. So yeah,
so it kind of sounds like it runs in the family a little bit, bro.
Yeah,
like you said, man, you got to just kind of be in the right place at the right time. Like a couple little things come together. She's got some skills and a support system in her older brother from early, man. You never know.
Yeah, 100%. It's always better to get started early rather than later, because that's how it is with that.
For sure. So speaking of when you got started, of course, the reason we all met you is, of course, through your success in Madden. I talked with, I think it was last week, with Shotmaster TV. He was on Madden Nation. He was on the bus way back when, and he was telling me about how. So I was born in a little older than you, not much. I was born in 1990, and he was telling me about how he was in his college dorms playing money games in 1990. Jeez. I was like, I'm saying, bro, I was like, I was literally just a good idea at that point. So now a young man born 2000 and already, one of the best Madden players in the world. What was the first Madden installment that you really got hands on? Maybe not like your first comp version of the game, but like when did the Madden hooks like start to come in? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So I love this story. I always tell it.
Nice.
It actually didn't start with like a console Madden. It started with like Madden Mobile. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this. It's basically an app on the phone. It's called Madden Mobile. And I was in high school, and I kind of started like a little trend, honestly. So I was playing Madden Mobile. A couple guys always been like, "Oh, why are you doing that? That's boring." Like, because a lot of people were like playing like Clash of Clans. There's some other phone games. And this was like freshman, sophomore year of high school, one or the other, or maybe even both. And I was playing this Madden Mobile game, and slowly but surely, some other people like, oh, what are you doing? How are you playing this? And like, it kind of caught a little trend in the school where a lot of people were playing Madden Mobile. And, you know, I enjoyed that game, but it was like, just like, I mean, like, there's got to be something more than just buying cards and, you know, playing this little simulation on your phone.
Right.
And then I kind of did my research. I looked up on Twitch, YouTube, and I saw Madden, and it was Madden 15. It was with the Legion of Boom. That game was super dope. And this is when I got it. I got it towards the second half of the season. So think of like after the Super Bowl, that type of time. And this is like, I had gotten the PS4. The PS4 is like the old gen consoles, the one previous besides the PS5, had just come out like that Christmas time. I ended up buying that PS4 on Christmas. Shout out to my parents. They got it for me. Nice. And then like around February, March time, I started playing Madden 15. And first, you know, I wasn't really good, but I was just learning a lot of things. And I just found it super dope. Like, oh, everyone on regs has their rating. Oh, wow, it's actually pretty accurate how they play to their rating. Oh, wow, they actually update it every week. I found that pretty dope. And then, like, I kind of figured out what MUT was. And that, like, I started doing solos. Yep. Solos actually at that time weren't that bad because I had just come from Madden Mobile. So, you know, I was like, okay, let me do these solos. Let me get my team right. And I actually enjoyed doing solos. I feel like everyone, when they first start, they enjoy doing solos. I can phrase that. But now, like, I can't play solos. But
no. It's not worth your while anymore, bro.
No, yeah. Solos are too much for me now. But back then I was on heavy. I was doing a lot of solos. And then there was like these little community things. And on the PS4, on PSN, they like made this new thing called communities. And they had like this one community called like MUT 15 wagers and coin games or something like that. I ended up joining it. There's like a party going on at the time. I joined their party. And, you know, this is at this time I had like 83, 84 overall. Everyone already at that time had God's squads. But, you know, I was feeling myself. I was watching a lot of Twitch. I already found a little scheme. At that time, it was like PA end around. I don't know if you played a lot of Madden 15, but there's this play called PA end around. It was a super cheesy play. I'm trying to think of a play like it's like PA rollout from this year out of bunch tight end. It was basically super similar. It didn't take any thinking to run it, and you could just spam it just like that. Spam, spam, spam. And that's what I was doing a lot. And I played this guy. His name was Axon Jax. He's not really in the community anymore, but I do remember him. And he beat me. He took my coins, and I was super sad. And then, like, at that time, I'm like, you know what? I got to get better. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Kept playing, kept watching, kept playing, kept watching. And it was a little competitiveness in that, but at that, like, this point, it was nothing like I was playing for money or nothing. But, you know, I'm like, you know, I can't just have my coins be taken like that. Got my team right, ended up playing him again towards the end of the year, and it was like a much closer game. And that's kind of where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take this serious into next year. Madden 16 was kind of like a wild game. It was, some people say it was like a joke with the ad catches. Right. So, you know, that year went on. I kind of got more familiarized with Twitch and the people and the names in the community. Joel would stream a lot during that time. Obviously, Problem streams every year. And that's like, obviously, there are more people to stream, but Joel and Problem were the people I watched a lot in Madden 16. And Joel was just so hilarious to watch. He was really good at the game. And there's a lot of content going on with old Joel streams. And, you know, he kind of shows that again a lot when he streams now, but it was nothing like it was. And that was super dope to watch. And I watched a lot in high school all that. And then Madden 17 came out. And this is when the MCS came out, the Madden Championship Series, the tournaments. Right. And I actually remember watching a lot of these tournaments while I was on my phone at high school, like Spanish class. I would hide I don't have a book here, but I'd hide my phone behind my book and just watch it. And I'd watch Kiv and like Skimbo and Serious Mo play these games. And I was just like, I want to be like them. Those guys are pretty dope. Yeah. They're making money playing Madden, and you know, they got swag. Because, you know, Kiv would always show up in some super swaggy, like Gucci jacket or something.
Yeah,
like,
Kiv's got drip. Kiv's probably
got
the
drip,
drippiest,
bro.
on the
Kiv
circuit,
definitely
I think.
The drippiest, yeah. I'm trying to get there. I'll got some fits for the next time we're in person, but that's the thing. We haven't been in person in a minute. So,
facts.
So yeah, I seen Kiv with a drip. I'm like, man, this dude right here, this dude's a GOAT, bro. And and then that kind of led into Madden 18. They made a really nice rule change. It was like super blessed, but I don't know if they had been thinking about it. In Madden 18, they made it from where you had to be 18 to now you could be 16th, but you've got to bring your guardian to these tournaments. And I made the tournament, the first, like one of the first club series tournaments. I may end up making it. I won the Raiders Club, but I lost a problem in the round of 32. And, you know, if you lose a problem, the GOAT of Madden, like, it's whatever, but I ended up losing by 3 points.
Ugh.
And yeah, we were in Orlando. I brought my pops. This is like when the Pro Bowl was going on. And, you know, the thing that I remember the most is like everyone in the crowd, as it should be, was rooting for Problem. And there's like 3 people in my stand, in my, you know, little huddle.
Right.
My dad and like VY Electrify and Shugs. They were rooting for me. And I'm like, wow, that's actually insane. There was this awesome venue. I ended up losing, and, you know, I was like 17 at this time. I cried, bro. I cried. I'll say it, man. I cried. I'm like, I never want this feeling to happen again. And that kind of like put a little savagery in me. And like, I don't know what happened, because the next year I ended up winning a tournament, the same tournament. So that's kind of like my origin story. I kind of made it a little just, this year, but that's really what it was.
I love that, bro. And I want to get like back up to the point in your story where now like you said, like that little bit of savage like kicked in, and you decided like, okay, like this isn't going to go like this anymore. Like I'm not going to lose the Problem in the round of 32. But before we talk about that, mention your family and how your pops was in your corner. And I'm curious to know, just kind of, you know, as a young man that's been so successful, what like were your parents and like your family kind of with this like right off the bat, or did you kind of have to definitely, would you like to tell me anything about that? Like what their attitude was and how it changed?
Yeah. So, being from like a brown household, an Indian household, Asian household, whatever you want to say, there's like a stereotype, like, oh, you got to study, you got to be a doctor, you got to be an engineer.
Sure.
And mine was no different. But, you know, I feel like I'm very smart, but I just don't apply myself in school. And I feel like if I applied myself, I'd be, you know, top of the charts 100%. But, you know, I spent a lot of my time during my high school years, you know, rather than studying for the test, I was grinding the sticks, like playing a lot of Madden. And, you know, I feel like it might be like a controversial topic for years to come. I feel like this definitely has a lot of controversy behind it, but it worked out for me. And I always say, like, don't, like, you know, my story is a great story, but, you know, don't just like throw away your school just to like grind Madden, because, you know, at the end of the day, this sample size, you know, like it's not going to work out for everyone. And, you know, I don't want to be like that guy, but I always want to encourage people, try to do both, man. Like focus both your time into both. And like, you know, it's 100% doable. It's just how much time you put into the game. But, you know, don't just neglect your school and, you know, grind the sticks, because that's definitely what I did 100%. Thankfully it worked out for me. I still have a lot to do and a lot to prove. So by any means haven't, you know, made it or whatever. But, you know, that's what I always kind of try to tell people like around my age or younger than me, because Madden's always going to be like, oh, here's the young guys. Oh, the young guys got a little older. Here's some new young guys coming underneath them. That's how it's always going to be. I've already seen it like happen 3-4 times. Right. With like age groups. I was once, you know, that 16, 17-year-old, now 21, man. And, you know, that's not necessarily old at all, but in Madden years, there's like 15, 16-year-olds like just spawning up every day.
True,
and
indeed.
They're just like hell. Like, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Who is this guy? And I'm trying to ask, and like, I really don't know who this guy is, but he's 16 years old and he's beating me in weekend league, or he's beating me in a money game. And it's like, it's kind of just how it is in like all esports, you know, COD, Fortnite, I'm sure it's the same way. And Madden, especially, the younger you are, if you put a little bit of time, if you use your brain a little bit, if you're really just good, you're going to be good due to just, you know, younger people, I guess, like their hands move faster. It's a thing with the controllers and all that, but you know, there's always just young people being good. But what's it called? I kind of went off on a tangent right
I
there.
love that, bro. This is your show, man. Go on any tangent that you see available, brother. You walk down that road, because we want to hear about it. But I love that outlook. I kind of got like a little preview of that when I was asking about your family, and you were talking about potentially getting your younger sister set up with what she needs to stream and whatnot. And you mentioned right off the rip, like, I want to make sure that she could stay focused on school and stuff. Yeah. And I think that coming from a guy like you, especially, is super important, because it sounds like, you know, in a lot of ways, you know, not to gas, but like you are in a lot of ways like the exception to what will usually happen. right?
Yeah.
Like neglecting school and kind of like doubling, tripling down on a video game. And what a blessing, man. And we're lucky, you know, to have you in the community, of course. But I think that's good advice to younger folks to kind of, you can do both. But you know, make sure you're locked in on school too, because that's guaranteed. The video game stuff is super not guaranteed, right?
I know. Yeah. And I really never really, like, I've kind of went into like small details about that conversation we had, but I've never really opened up too much like I just did. And you know, like the more I think about it, it's definitely something that's going to be a topic for the years to come. Like I'm sure it's already it happens all the time, but you know, I don't think anyone really talks about it. I know they say, oh, don't play video games, don't do this, but they don't really go into like the full details. But you know, that's for another time to come. But going back, my parents really weren't that supportive. My pops would kind of just let me play all the time. It was my mother that was kind of just, you know, you have to study, you have to do this. And, you know, obviously I'm on her side. Like I know that it's the truth, but I felt like I was just so good. And like, I was so like, there's so much raw talent when I was playing like Madden 18, Madden 19. She kind of gave me the pass because of Madden 18. So here's how the story went. Like Madden 15, Madden 16, Madden 17, she would always kind of just limit my hours. And she would also like, I'd get hooked, man. I'd get hooked sometimes and just go on and on and on. And she would hide my console, man. And, you know, it's the right move for a parent, honestly. But, you know, because she has a power. I'm only 16, 17, you know, I 100% should have been listening. But that's what it kind of came to sometimes. She'd hide my controller, hide my console. And, you know, somewhere in Madden 18 at this time, I was grinding really hard. I was in school, obviously high school. And I ended up getting a part-time job at JCPenney. And I was doing this. I was working. I was at high school. I think it was a junior, senior. I think I was a senior, which it was laid back. Senior year is always laid back. But as a senior, I had a part-time job. And I was trying to grind for this tournament, Club Series.
It's a lot.
And, you know, I made it work out. I don't know how. I made it work out. And ended up making this tournament. And I told my mom, she didn't believe me at first because it was like, oh, Pro Bowl venue, Madden 18 NFL Club Series. And it was in Orlando. It was a nice venue. This venue was where they played the bubble in last year, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And it was, it was really dope, this venue. I wish they still had it, man. Whatever happened. But like, there's Pro Bowl players there. They had like these NFL mascots just dancing on the field. It was just such a great time.
Dope.
And to get here, though, obviously, like I showed them the plane ticket. They didn't believe it. They thought it was a scam. They're like, oh, this is no way. This is real. You know, you didn't make like this. This is just a scam. Don't get scammed or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And then I ended up printing out the 2 tickets, one for me, one for my dad. And, you know, he ended up coming with me and he saw everything. And he was all it took was for him to see like all these different Madden players, the venue, me playing one of the GOATs with the commentators, RG and Scott, like to know, oh yeah, this is real. This is 100% a thing. This is like the future for him. And it took that. It took my mom seeing me on Twitch, seeing me play Problem, seeing me, you know, she like, this is all so fast because now I know like everything that happens when I play. But when I end up playing nowadays, like they get so nervous, they don't even want to watch the game. Right. They'll do a little prayer circle or whatever, and they'll like go. It is really dope. But like I give them so much anxiety. They'll pants. They'll walk around outside, but pace in and outside. They don't even want to watch the game, man. And it's kind of crazy to think like Madden 18. I wonder what she was doing. I know my pops was there watching because he was up there on the top. I wonder what my family back here was doing. So. Now, that's always just something crazy to think about. And yeah, that's how my parents were at first, but now they're 100% supportive.
So it sounds like then this 18 year was a big turning point, both for you as a player, because you know you said that little bit of Savage came out. You're like, okay, like I have this raw talent. If I put in the time and the effort, like I'm not losing the problem in the round of 32 again. So you know you have focused up. It seems like maybe like your family is also kind of realizing that he might actually be the exception to this idea that like, you know, video games are a waste of time. It doesn't seem to have been a waste of time just yet. So what, as far as like your habits on, because, you know, we all play the game, not like you do, of course, but we all play. What were some of like the things that you did as now we're starting to get to this this 18 year and what you did from there and kind of the run that you made, what did you need to adjust as far as like, was it 100 hours in practice mode? Are you running head to head for 12 hours a day? Or what were a couple of the things that you did to really start to turn the corner and become Pavan as we know today?
So after this tournament, Madden 18 tournament, I went straight home and I booted up the Twitch off the console, and I asked for smoke for anyone. I asked, oh, you want to play for $25? You want to play for $50? You even want to play for this amount of dollars? Like, I was kind of a little wild with it, but, I gotten that $5,000 from the club series.
Right.
And, I knew I was good. I knew I was really, really good. And, I booted up the Twitch. I was playing a lot of people in the community, whether it's $25, $50, so on and so forth up there. And, it'd get heated, man. It'd get really heated.
Oh, yeah.
We'd always say GG's at the end, but, me, I was like 17, 18 years old. Like, I would talk my smack, bro. I would talk my talk. I had to, bro. Especially with me being the streamer, I would either, be on the mic, be like, oh, you can't beat me, this, that, and a third. Oh, you can't stop one play. I can run this play all game.
I was
a little toxic, yeah, but it just happens when you're a little younger, I feel like, to everyone. Or I just type in the chat the same type of things. But doing that, like booting up that stream, playing a lot, like it was the best thing I've ever, like best idea ever, because a lot of people, like after a tournament win, they get sad, or they get down on themselves. It happened to me too. Like the latest tournaments, it happened to me too, for sure. You get burned out. But me being that young, like I didn't get burned out, even though I was grinding and labbing for the tournament so much. Losing that game, like losing the problem just made me just want to play more somehow. And I just played so many Madden 18 games. I started getting a lot of followers and viewers on Twitch.
Yeah. And
like, I'd see myself, like if I was playing a big money game, I'd have like 300, 400 people, even 500 people watching at night, like
Huge.
Just late night.
Off a console, bro? Just streaming off your console?
Yeah. And I'm like, hold up, man. I'm just streaming off my console. A lot of these people don't even really know me, but they just want to see the high stake games. And that's something people will always want to see, is high stake games, whether it's, a tournament game, money game, whatever it is. High stake games is content. So
for sure. So this is around when you booted up the Twitch, around this 18 spot here as well.
Yeah. So it was I'm trying to do it was probably February or March of whatever Madden 18. Like I think it'd probably be 2018 probably. But it was 2018. It was 2018.
Yeah.
March year, and that's when I started booting up. Just no face cam, no nothing, just straight console streaming.
That's legendary, bro. That's actually nuts. So 18 was kind of the start of your coming out party, should you say?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It's just, the thing is, like, not everyone got to see, like how good I really was, because it was like Twitch console streaming. But I would say if there was like another tournament, because the thing is, I got in at like the last tournament of the year for Madden 18.
Mm-hmm.
If there was like another one, I feel like I would have made it, but you never know. And I feel like that would have been like my coming out party. Like, oh, okay, this guy made back-to-back tournaments. He's a real deal. But I'll say Madden 19, the beginning of the year, I was on a tear, because the momentum of playing so many games led into that. I'll say Madden 19 kind of was like, I don't know. It's a little tough to say, because like Madden 19, they had like some online tournaments, Players Lounge, Gamers Lounge. I was winning all of them, man. I was literally running through people in regs, and I guess you could say that, but either or works.
So then you've laid your groundwork then in 18. Family's on board. You're running through the schedule. You have big momentum into 19, and then I'm edging my seat, bro. So what happens next?
So in Madden 19, I actually was kind of enrolled in some college courses.
Okay.
One was like biology, and my mom still had this thing like, oh, you still have to go to school and all that. And I was obviously on board, like, as long as they were supportive, like I would still, try my best in school. And biology is not an easy class. Like, it can be easy if you apply yourself, but this is like, like this is into the level of nursing. That's what my mom wanted me to go into, like that medical field. So I had to kind of balance out biology with like Madden, and there was a couple hard decisions. Like I did really well in the class, but like it came down to like the final was the day of like there was this Madden Classic tournament in Las Vegas, and I was pretty good in regs, so it was a tough decision. I ended up going to the tournament, and thankfully my professor, he was a like a tough teacher, like he was not like really that nice, but he made an exception and he ended up letting me take it early. And I was a little like intimidated because at this time, like I was just a little kid, just a little nervous. And this professor was always like a little mean. So, it took like, I obviously had to ask him for, can I take it early? And thankfully he did. So I ended up going to the Las Vegas tournament in regs. And, I lost in a heartbreaking loss. Like it was round of 64. I had a pretty good bracket, meaning like, if I being the guy I was playing, his name is Chigs of 300. I feel like I would have made a nice bracket run. I ended up like, I was up, like this was super bad, man. I was so heartbroken because I was up a good amount of points. I think it was up like 10 to 14, like the second half, man. And like, if like me personally, I'm really good, like controlling the clock, at least now. Yeah. Maybe at that time I got nervous, but I ended up losing that game. And it wasn't double elimination at that time. So, you lose, you're out of there. See you later. And yeah, so that kind of took a toll on me. But, I learned a lot. Like, okay, you got to be better with the ball. You got to control the clock better. You got to end games. Don't choke. Don't be a fool. And I feel like ever since that moment, I've kind of been really, really good with that. But the thing happened in the Madden tournament, Madden 19 Rex tournament, the classic, Skimbo ended up winning. And the thing that was crazy is like Skimbo and I were like locked in a lot of the time. We were playing like $25 games, just trying to get better. And
dope.
He was winning majority of them, but like I was definitely keeping up with him. Like me and my friends were like playing him a lot, and like we would go back and forth type of thing. And it was like wow, Skimbo won. Like wow, I was just playing him last week. I beat him, he beat me. So seeing that, I was like, okay, I'm still good, man. I'm on the right level. If I could just just put it together some more, I'll be all right. In the next tournament, Madden 19, was the Club Series tournament, the one I lost to Problem prior. So, it wasn't all, fire in Madden 19. I obviously took that loss in the regs, but I bounced back really well. I was just locked in up to 2 a.m. every night, playing so many games. And at that time, I had like a lot of people were running this specific offense, like New England, and they were running like nickel normal defense. I was a little like, off the wave, I guess. I made I was running Tampa Bay offense, which is similar to New England, but it had just some more plays, in my opinion, that were better. And I was running nickel 3-3-5. So that enough and alone made me able to win the tournament, because I had some knowledge that they didn't have, and I just used it to my favor. And obviously, I played really good. I used that savagery. If you want to
I love that. No, savagery is exactly the right word, bro. Savagery is exactly the right word.
Yeah, because in Madden 19, I was just like talking my smack compared to, Madden 18. I was a little, just kind of just like a little shy, a little locked in like this. Just Madden 19, I'm like, I'm letting you know, like, oh, I'm sending the blitz. Oh, I'm doing this. I dotted you up. I'm making a dot. And that's how I use that energy. And it basically helped me. It won me the tournament.
Yeah, bro, and then you wind up, fast forward a little bit, you wind up with the belt on the bed, man. That was so happy.
Yeah, it's back there now.
Oh, I peeped it. I peeped the background already, for sure. So you mentioned, okay, so before we like kind of continue into now building off of your successes in 19, going into 20, it just reminded me, it's a question, it's going to be a tangent no matter what. It was just like a question that I wanted to ask regardless. You just used the word friends, and I know your boy Sahil, your manager, is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So tell me about your guys' friendship and what he does for you and how you guys met, because I think that's dope, man. Bros being bros is good stuff, and I love that he's kind of taken the ride a little bit with you. Shout out to Sahil. So what does that friendship mean to you, bro?
So this was I was still taking these college courses, and this one was like anatomy, and he was in the same type of field as me, as in we want to go in this medical field. Okay. And like I was once more super quiet kid, wasn't really talking a lot in class, just sitting in my corner, taking my notes, doing my thing. And one day I told that teacher, I'm not going to be here this day. And that day was the day. Those days were the days that I was in Madden 19 Club Series playing my tournament, winning the tournament. Those days I was gone. That was the reason why.
Okay.
And like nobody really noticed, like I was gone, obviously. And then he took a note. Like he's like, because I talked to him. I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? Like, how you doing? Like we were acquaintances in the class. Like he was a really friendly guy. And
Nice.
me, I was just trying to return the same energy. And he noticed like I was gone, and he had to end up like hearing about like, oh, some kid from Yuba City wins a tournament. And he's like, hold up, is this the same guy? Because he heard about that news before, and then he noticed like I was gone. He's like, he wasn't here these days, so
They
is
put
that
two and two
him?
together.
Yeah, and I think he ended up telling my teacher too, and I think like they did some research or something. Like they both realized like, wow, I won. And when they came back, they didn't be like, oh, this guy won, he's a go, whatever. They were still kind of just quiet, like it was just like normal class.
Yeah.
I think I don't know when he like congratulated me or whatever it may be, but it went on some while, and we kind of just like the course ended up passing, and he passed as well. The course went on, and then I was taking another summer class. So this was spring, then now here goes summer. And I was walking out on my this course I had taken just ended, and I was gonna go get lunch and come back because I had another course. And on the way back, he was walking in, I was walking out. He's like, hey, what's up, man? How you been? And we just what's it called? We dabbed it up. He's like, I'm like, how you doing? What class you got? And then we had the same class later on at night. And it's like, wow, that's pretty dope. Like, I'll see you later on. And then from there, like we start kicking it, getting like food together, and going back to class, and that like helping each other in the class. And then like we start talking about esports so much. And obviously at this time he had known I won. I don't know when the interaction happened to that, but we were just talking and like, oh, I used to play a lot of COD. That's what he said. And like from there, we just talking a lot about esports. And this time Madden 20 rolled around, and the first tournament happened, and it was in Dallas. It was a Madden Classic. This is when everyone was getting armbarred by Zeke.
Yeah.
And I was one of those guys getting armbarred by Zeke. I was not armbarring because I was just not hip to the meta.
Right.
But I ended up going. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this tournament. Could you take these notes for me? Whatever. Make sure I'm right when I get back. Because, you miss a day, 2 days of those classes. It's a lot of info, man. It's so much info.
For sure.
You're already like so behind. So he was like, okay, keep me updated if you can. And he actually ended up making a graphic. I told him, oh, I'm going to be in this event in Texas, this location, this, that. And this graphic was pretty dope. And,
hell yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should post this in Instagram if I start making a run. And of course, I got armbarred like super early out of the tournament. I texted him, I'm out of the tournament. He's like, damn. Like, he was super sad. And obviously I was sad, but like that tournament, like that's what Madden 20 was just like insane. Like from a competitive standpoint, yeah, it was a disaster. I actually ended up picking it up towards the end of the year, which I'm super proud of. But in the beginning, I had no luck, no mojo, no nothing. So there was that. And ended up coming back. I talked to him a lot about like how the tournament was, how the venue was. And he's like, man, because at this time I didn't have like Instagram, and I didn't really post a lot on Twitter either. He's like, man, you should start posting on Instagram, because, if you post a couple stories that you were in this venue, post like, picture, you get a lot of attraction, man. That'd be pretty dope. I feel like a lot of people from your city, from Yuba City wants to know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
And, I've always been shy. Like, I don't really want to do like all the posting and all that type of stuff. So, like, I'm not as creative as him either. I'm like, so what are you thinking? What should be our first post? And, what we would do sometimes after classes, we'd get a workout in, because, he was trying to get me in this fitness wave. And I've been on it for a minute now, and it's probably because of him. But this time I didn't know what was going on or whatever. We just hit the gym, probably go in the sauna, and then just dip out of there. But this was like late nights. And then like one day it was like National Video Game Day. And he's like, your first Instagram post should be this. Picture of you locked in on the game, just like kind of like this with the controller in your hand. And it was a pretty good picture. And he like the picture should be this, and you should caption it National Video Game Day, and end up posting it. Got like, I don't even know, like 100 to 150 likes. Yeah, and that kind of just like, yeah, it was people kind of like realizing, oh, this guy plays video games, and it was kind of to see like, oh, how many people actually knew about it too, but no one really commented. And from there on, we just started posting away. And Instagram led into YouTube. We made a YouTube channel. We're like 7,000 almost on YouTube. So, you know, I definitely I'm going to put in the work like crazy this Madden 22 season for sure. Trying to get up there on YouTube alongside with Twitch. But, you know, Instagram led to YouTube, and we just, from there, led to like recording in real life. Obviously the Madden stuff I'll always be able to do, but some of the in real life stuff is kind of hard to do. That's why I got him there, and, you know, it's a great team.
Dude, that's a beautiful thing. I love it. It's just like kind of like happened organically almost. Like y'all just kind of met each other out there in the real world, had some stuff in common, and, you know, next thing you know, you're really helping each other out. I think that's a beautiful thing. 100%. So you brought us to, and I want to go back to kind of how you are looking at competitive versus content. When we asked Dubby last Monday, a week ago today, I was like, well, are you doing both? His idea was, yeah, I mean, you can indeed do both successfully. So just kind of before we finish where you're at, and I want to hear about the rest of your experience in Madden 20 and then 21, of course. But as you look at kind of where you're at right now, one of the best Madden players in the world, like big hype, you know, all eyes are going to be on you for all the competitive stuff too. Are you worried at all about balancing content creation with your competitive habits and the practice that you need to put in, or do you think you got it like pretty well under control?
Like gonna be kind of a little worrisome about that for sure. Last year was like my actual first year that I kind of did both. Before that, Madden 20, I kind of did like the second half of the season, but it was simple, just like post a video you had from Twitch, or, you know, just do a little. I was actually pretty good with it in Madden 20. Last year I was on it for sure. But I kind of died down. Like after I lost to J-Wall in the finals, I kind of lost some like motivation to play the game.
It's understandable.
Yeah. And the YouTube, like I wasn't posting as much. I ended up posting a lot, but like I wasn't doing those live comms like I was doing in Madden 20. So I'm kind of a little disappointed in myself, because I feel like if I was like just post some more live comms and just, you know, people love the live comms a lot. And rather than that, I was kind of just pre-recording a lot of things. But, you know, I took a break basically from Madden 21, and it was well needed, because after that loss, it was a tough loss, but, you know, I'm back in it for sure. And, you know, I haven't been really playing that much, but I'm ready for it now. But back to your question, that was weird. It will always be a little worrisome for me, the balancing of content and comp, because like everyone just knows, like if you stream a lot, people are going to steal your plays, your tendencies, all that type of stuff. And I feel like I'm really creative with the way I run, you know, offense, defense, but, you know, you got to do it, man. I feel like for myself, I have to do it. So, you know, I'm going to be all in for the content. And, you know, I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to bet on myself, because I know, you know, I'm still going to be one of the best, whether or not you watch me play or you don't watch me play. I'm still going to be the best. Yeah. And I'm just going to bet on myself to beat you any single time. Like, you know, and, you know, I got to bet on myself for the YouTube and my support with my fans and all that. So, you know, I'm going to go full in on content. And obviously the comp, I'm still going to be playing it like crazy. So I just got to grind, man. I got to grind like crazy. I know I could do it, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, bro. I think you got it all the way under control. We've mentioned a couple times in our interview today, your boy Problem. I don't know if you saw this. I think he just posted it like a day or two ago, that he picked up a coin sponsor.
Yeah, I actually saw that tweet.
What do you think about the whole subject of, you know, EA and the relationship with EA as it relates to coin sponsors and kind of taking your guaranteed money? Because, you know, it seemed not like split necessarily. Everyone loves Problem, so everyone's just going to support him, and I think that's dope. I think that's the right thing to do. But it seemed like some people were like upset because it's like, oh, like we don't get to see like one of the GOATs in action competitively anymore. The other half of people were like, I mean, you got to like kind of take your bag. And of course, like, you know, being with respect to the fact that you're locked in on your competitive stuff here, so I wouldn't expect you to take a coin sponsor. Like, do you have thoughts as to like kind of the whole topic in general, coin sponsorships? Do you think it's tough that now Problem definitely will not be able to compete? You think it's reasonable? What do you think?
Always you want to see Problem competing, so
Of
it does
course.
suck. Like he's a go of the game, but it makes sense for him because he's gonna be streaming a lot and he's gonna get crazy numbers, and
Mhm.
I'm sure he'll be on the YouTube as well. So it's a lot of traction right there. I'm sure he made the right decision for himself, and
Mhm.
like I'm not here to oh you should have done this, should have done that.
Oh, of course, right.
I'm gonna be in the stream. I'm gonna be in the stream like week one, day one, forever, however long he streams that Madden, because his streams when it first starts are always great. You get a lot of info
For
on to
sure.
see like, oh, what is this guy doing? Because people are always gonna match up with him. You get to see that, and his chat's hilarious. So
Yeah.
I'll be in there. I'm happy for the decision. What if he liked the decision, then I'm happy for him. So that's all
Fair.
I got really. Yeah, that's all
No,
I got really
yeah,
say.
I love that, bro. I think that's absolutely the right answer. So, okay, I took us on a tangent. I wanted to ask about Sahil and
Oh,
then
that's
your
fine.
thoughts
Yeah.
about Problem, of course. But so now I guess like in the terms of the story of your career, we left off in Madden 20, which from like everything I've seen of you, like the meta, especially offensively, was just like not something that it seemed like you might want to participate in. You know what I mean? Like there was minimal
100%.
dots and lasers and a whole bunch of
Running
Eric
stretch.
Dickerson.
Yeah.
Big,
God.
big
I
freaking
forgot
yikes.
about that guy.
Yeah, yeah. How could you forget about Eric
I don't
Dickerson?
know.
So now for the rest of the Madden 20 year, what's it looking and feeling like for you? What's your experience about the rest of the year going?
For Madden 20?
Yeah.
Okay, so after the first tournament, it was just a big L, like not even close to what I could do.
Right.
Club series came around, and it was this time. We're so used to full MUT now. This was like the last. This year was the last for salary cap. So
Right. Oh, that's right.
what's
I
it called?
forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually end up making the tournament club series. I was a Raiders representative again.
Yep.
And this time, rather than playing the game, because I feel like this time a lot of things hadn't came out. Playmaker, Hot Route Master, and Escape Artist QB. That was towards the end, with golden tickets coming out.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of things that didn't come out for offensive, like a passer standpoint. So I felt like I was very limited around club series time. Like I had to use Andrew Luck, who was really good. Don't get me wrong, Andrew Luck was really good. He got Escape Artist, but he was nowhere near towards the end of the year when that Michael Vick came out. It was a Michael Vick, golden ticket, Hot Route Master, Gunslinger, quarterback, and that's me right there. I love using Michael Vick, and I love using Hot Route Master. I love using Escape. That was me towards the end of the year. But club series, there's just a lot of limited options. Obviously, if you run, you really don't need anything at all. People are using Jukebox, and I think that's about it. Because Armbar at that time had got patched. They EA knew wow, we messed up with this one.
They did.
But Jukebox was pretty OP too. So
it was.
Jukebox
I remember.
It was pretty OP. People were using. I forgot who the running backs were. I think it was people were using Dickerson, and Volt was using Chris Johnson. There we go. Volt obviously won the whole tournament, but what Volt did was he was the first player to 10 cap, and what 10 capping was you don't use anything on your quarterback. He knows he's not going to pass. He gets the best blocking tight end / receivers out there, low cap. Everyone could block, and he's just going to give it to the fastest running back in the game. Because what he did was, since he was able to 10 cap, he had a stack defense, and not only that, he was able to get a full team of sprinter. That time only max, if you're passing, max amount of things you could do was one sprinter.
Mm-hmm.
Volt had ×2 sprinter, so his Chris Johnson went from 96 or 95 speed to 97. And at this time, we were just bro, we have Pat Tillman, he's good. He's 92 speed max.
Right.
We have Troy Polamalu, he's good. He's 93 speed max. And this dude Volt, if he just gets that second level, he's not we're not catching him because we just don't have fast enough players. And
that was that highlight run that he put up, right? That was
Greeny.
just actually that was against I did not remember the opponent. That was against Dreeny nonetheless.
Yeah, so what had happened? I'll run it by.
Oh, please do.
It was the finals game. Winner gets 100,000 club series. Dreeny makes the finals. Dreeny actually had beat me in that tournament. I should have said that a little bit earlier ago, but he beat me in the round of 8. it was tough loss, but he played way better than me, so I could take it.
Sure.
And Drini ended up being a joke after that. This is when people were finding out about Lamar Jackson and the Saints blast, where you just take it up. Joke was actually Joke and Bam were the first one running that. They both got knocked down the round of 4, so it was Volt and Drini left in the finals. And Drini was playing pretty good, honestly. He was keeping up. He had like Phillip Rivers at quarterback. Like, I don't even know. Phillip Rivers beat me in a big Madden game. Like, I'm pretty disgusted about
Salty
that.
About it still, yeah, right.
yeah. Like, if you beat me with luck, Vic, cool. You can make plays. You can roll out, do this and that. But Drini was like toting a lot, running the ball a lot, and then he'd have some nice, like short, intermediate pass plays when he needed to. So he played really well balanced. But Volt had this crazy stack defense, crazy fast running back. And, Drini just like, he was playing pretty good, honestly. Like, I was surprised on how well he was playing. But, it came to a point where Volt would just keep hitting these nasty runs. And then I think it was like Volt was up like by 4, like 10 or something at half. And he was at the 50-yard line. And there was like 3 seconds left, 1 play left of the half. And Drini decided to come out and man up 3D. And, usually you think, oh, that's safe. But this is like around the first time where like people were like figuring out, oh, you don't want to come out in 3D versus a run. Your players are gonna run slow. I think this was the first year of like weak box theory or whatever it was in Madden 20. Yeah, so no one really knew. And then obviously if Drini comes out in 3D, then something like he didn't know, obviously, because he's easily like top 3 defensive player that I've ever seen. So he comes out in 3D. Volt has this 97 speed running back. Volt calls hike, he stands there for a second, just letting the blocks develop, trying to see what's up. Because that
was the grossest. That pause in the backfield was the grossest. I mean, as like a more casual than you, Madden fan watching it, I was like, there is no way, right?
Yeah. So actually, what had happened was, because I remember I had watched Volt play a couple games like online. He was playing a couple of my lab mates. He played me too. He had this thing, like he'd wait there for a second. And he kind of like mastered it to a T, bro. I'm not even kidding. He lagged up. He would wait there for a second, hit a spin, and just follow the blocks, go in and out, and he would just be out of there. And he did this so many times online. Like, he mastered it to a T, that he was able to do it in a $100,000 Madden game. And he just waited there. He stopped. He did a little spin. He followed the blocks. Drini's players started running slow because they were, for one, slower than Chris Johnson. And for 2, they got weak boxed. So like they were just, how when players got weak boxed in those times, they would just run like, they were super slow, even last year too. So he got the edge and he was out of there, man. And Volt was just chilling. He's like, oh, I already did this a couple times online. Like, I'm fine. But everyone else was just like, oh my God, that's insane. And it was insane. Like, a handful of people could do that, man.
Dude, and I remember. I still remember watching it. And for the folks at home, when you reference the weak box theory, correct the parts of this that I'm incorrect on. Basically, like the idea of audibling down from a lighter set with more wide receivers down to like a running formation to take advantage of bad personnel matchings on the defense. Is that kind of what it is, or is it more specific than that?
It could be like that. It could be basically like, if I come out in goal line, which is a heavy set, and you want to come out in dime, you want to come out in like a 3D line set with multiple DBs on the field, like 6 or 7 DBs, then the defense is just going to run slower because they made it to where like Madden 17, Madden 18, people would just run these heavy like passing sets, and people would try to run, and you could just blow it up in the backfield, and like DBs would just shed you on the run, and a lot of people were mad about that. Me personally, it was whatever because I do the same, but it does make sense that, you shouldn't be able to run 7 DBs versus, heavy running sets. So their idea was, we're going to make the defense run slower, which is, it doesn't really make sense, but, it kind of like, they have to do something to make it work. You're not abusing 7 DB sets, and I guess that was the answer.
Yeah, I guess we're getting a little. Yeah, I guess maybe a move in the way of like moving towards simulation away from like arcade-ish type deal.
Sure.
And I guess like on that note, kind of what did you think about? I imagine did you play any next gen at all this year? It seems like you probably had no reason to, I would guess, but did you wind up playing any next gen?
I actually played 0 next gen Madden 21. Madden 22, the beta came out, and I played a little bit of it, and they say it's was basically Madden 21 next gen. So, you know, I'll just take your word for it, because I really, yeah, like you said, there's no reason to play it. The timing was super weird this year, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was bound to happen one year or another. We got that. We're out of that stage. Next year, everyone's going to be pretty much next gen, ready to go, even playing field for sure.
Did you have any thoughts in particular about the beta? Like, did you spend a lot of time on it? Like, I'm sure it felt slower to you as a current gen guy, maybe. But what do you remember? Like, what other impressions you were taking away from the beta?
One thing I will say is like the menu for defense and offense. It was so super weird to sub players in and out. I felt I had like a little bit of trouble doing that. But, you know, the more you play, you'll get that down, and I ended up getting it down the more I played. But it just takes some time. So the menu on offense, defense, definitely a little weird. Obviously, the movement is way slower. But, you know, I kind of started getting used to that. I feel like the sheds are kind of the same as Madden 21. The user definitely, I feel like I'm a little bad with my user. But, you know, that, like I said, those type of things will all be like, oh, I got used to it type of thing. But overall, I kind of enjoyed it, man, because I was having fun. One thing I do love a lot, I don't know if they're going to fix this or not or change it up, is running with my QB. Madden 21, there was none of that happening. Everyone was running this 3-3-5 wide defense where they contain you. You're staying there for a minute. Or they were running send two with a spy. You know, you could evade that kind of, but, you know, it's just nowhere, like, there's not productive at all. I feel like next year, you're going to be able to roll out with your QB a lot without escape artists. I wonder how it is. Like, you know, I was having ease running out the pocket without escape artists. So that's something that hasn't happened in a couple of years. I like that a lot. I wonder if it's going to stay. Basically, all I'm saying is, like, you know, I'll be able to make my rollout dots a lot next year. And that's something I love, because I'm really good with the QB mobility thing. Like, I could take off, I could scramble, I could get my yards, I could throw dots across the field. That's something I'm super hyped about.
For sure. Hell yeah, bro. And you're, I don't know what made me just think of it. I think talking about your quarterback, and then I was like, I wonder if he likes Carr on the Raiders. But what do you think? Where did your fandom, how did is it just geographical? Like, is that the team that most of your boys liked because it's close by, because it's like the more local team? How did you become such a big Raiders fan, bro?
So my pops moved when he first came to America from India. He was actually trying to get into sports, because, like, in India he was watching all the Indian sports.
Sure.
And then here he got into sports. He picked the A's because, like, he moved to near, like, Oakland or Bay Area. And, you know, you could either go the San Fran route or the, you know, A's, Raiders, and Warriors route. And then he ended up going with the Oakland route. And from there, you know, he was a huge Oakland fan. He literally watched every game. He figured out the game easily. He knew all the rules and all that. And he taught me all that type of stuff. And, you know, that's how we're big Oakland fans, man. Or now Las Vegas fans. We're still Raider fans, no matter where they're at.
Right. And they did they at you on Twitter or something like that, or lob you the follow? That must have been super dope.
Yeah. So this is something I had been working on for a minute now.
Yeah.
And like one time they kind of like when I won the belt, they like retweeted my tweet and be like, Raider Nation.
Yeah.
And then they kept seeing me make these tournaments representing them, wearing a Carr jersey, wearing Henry Ruggs jersey, wearing a Josh Jacobs jersey. And then they decided, you know, let's lob them the follow. And you know, something super dope now that they do is they literally, like, whenever I'm in a tournament, I have a dope player or whatever, or like I'm making a run, they'll just make a tweet. They'll know what's going on somehow, some way. Like, they'll just keep up with my Twitter or like the EA MCS Twitter, and they'll just make a tweet like, oh, look at this dot by Pavan Lakhat, go root them on, type of thing. And it's just super amazing to me.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. And it's kind of, I'm sure the production value of some of what they've been doing as far as like putting on the tournaments, like, makes it easy to watch. What was that part of the experience like? Because I know with, you know, COVID, well, hold on, let's go in order first, because I want to ask you about like what like the setup was like, because it seems like they're like basically sending gear to your house. But before we get to that and like what that was like, and just because it's, you know, something that we have all lived through like fairly recently and it affects everybody a little bit differently, what did the COVID world like mean for you? Were you able to kind of like go on about your business as usual? Did it really drastically affect what things you were doing or things your family was doing? Of course, it affected the the landscape of Madden. Everything was remote now, and they were shipping out the equipment, and that's what got me thinking. But was COVID like a big shakeup in your world, or were you able to kind of maintain the things that you were already doing?
Honestly, it kind of helped me out a little bit.
That's good.
With the college courses, because I was able to take them online, thus spending way more hours on the game and all that stuff. And, it kind of helped me in that aspect. Sure. One thing I will say is it took some time getting used to, but my siblings, they obviously didn't have school anymore. They were home all the time. And, it wasn't a big deal at all. But, at first they were like super crazy. They were super hyper and all that type of stuff. So it took some time to get used to, but, it's all love now. And like, there's a lot of support downstairs. And, the only thing, like I said, is the live events. I definitely miss them, but they will come back one day. I'm sure of it. But everything else kind of just went on about my business. I felt like, streaming was easier to do now. Yeah. A lot of more people are on Twitch more often now. And, we are kind of like recovering from COVID, like 100%. Like everyone's more out and about now, and plus the vaccines. But I feel like it kind of still has a mark, as in, a lot of people more enjoy to stay inside type of thing now.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think it'll always kind of have
It'll always kind of be like that for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you have any, do you got any inkling on like, do you think we'll see some in-person events this year? Do you think maybe not quite yet? This is just a guess. I have no idea.
I'm not too sure, man. I'd hope that we get one, whether it be beginning, middle of the year, end of the year. Because one thing I will say is like the Call of Duty events, they are returning like to in person with fans.
And you've seen some of these clips about them chirping at each other. So good.
Do you keep up with like the CDL and all that type of stuff? Or
I only see the not like day to day, but like I'll tap in for like the highlights of, somebody thought that somebody takes one round and they're standing up yelling across the way. And then the next, you know what I mean? So I see some of that though.
Yeah. And Madden, I don't think it's maybe like those like larger events do get like that, but it doesn't really get like that in the live events. You guys see it. I mean, sometimes it will get like that, but nonetheless, I still miss them because the boys, I haven't seen the boys in so long. Like there's a couple Madden things we do. Like we play ball sometimes, we play football, definitely go out to eat. And, it's just great times.
Okay, so before you tell me about like what it was like for them to kind of like ship the gear out to your house and like the details there, because if you would like to share, because I would love to hear about it. If you would, bro, what's it like? I mean, on the stage, like on the main stage, was it a lot for you? Like, what are the first couple things you remember? Like I remember like playing like one of the most important football games I would play. Like I remember like the temperature, and I remember like looking around the stands and like kind of taking everything in. What were some of the things that you were taking in that same way? Like when you're on the stage, live event, like here we go. Was anything like unexpected or weird or different? Like what did you think about it?
Madden 19, the tournament, Club Series tournament, I do remember a couple things like so I won my first round of 32 game. Here we go, round of 16. Mm-hmm. And I was playing one of my boys, Turbo Jeff. He's a really good guy. He's my friend. Nice. Much respect to him. It sucks that we had to play it, but it is what it is. But I remember just walking out there, and I had played in front of the venue before, in front of a crowd before. This was like Madden 18, but I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was more on the game, because it was like my first time ever up there on the stage. Yeah, I was definitely really nervous, but I kind of settled in. But in Madden 19, I remember like there was no crowd yet. The first game I played, there was no crowd. A lot of other people played, there's no crowd. And then this random round of 16 game, I think they were like bringing them in to test how it would look and see like how the reactions were, whatever it may be. Okay. They brought them in for this random round of 16 game, and I was not expecting that. So we sat down. And I kind of just looked up, I'm like, hold up, bro. Yeah. Why is the random people, they're here? Like, they were not here yesterday. I have not really seen them. They're here now. And, that kind of just, like, it was like, that's pretty dope. Like, they were cheering me on, and, like, felt like I was like, the home favorite because, like, I was super close to home. This venue was in Redwood City, California, which is, like, 2 hours away from me, near San Fran. Yeah, so I felt like I was kind of like the home favorite. I was wearing the Raiders gear. And I feel like people would automatically just cheer for me for that. And I kind of took that in and like embraced it for sure. So That's one thing I'll say. And then like another thing is like there are a couple malfunctions that's happened where my music has just randomly stopped. I need my music when I play, so I had to like tell the admin right away, yo, I got to get my music back on.
Right.
And then another thing was like the game desynced like a couple times. That was pretty annoying because I like felt like I had a momentum at that time and the game just desyncs. So it's like back to stage one type of thing.
Do they have like admin type tools to like, because I know when it happens like and you're watching a stream, they got to like load back into the game and like you watch like knees and punts and like whatever else to like get the score and the game set up just the way it was. Do they have ways to skip to the point like when you're doing it for real, or do you have to do it the same way, like load up a game and like try to get to that same situation?
I'm trying to remember because it's been so long. But
right, sure, yeah.
I think they did have some type of thing to like kind of set it back. Either they did that personally, or they set it back. Because I don't remember me. I think they did. Yeah, they did have something to like, okay, we're gonna get it back to this point type of thing.
Interesting. And it was, I always wondered.
Yeah,
that. And
it was
also
pretty dope. Like I'm like, hold up, they could do this from here because it was like all connected. It was all LAN basically. So they had a thing to do it like that. I don't know if they went back and did it, but like next thing you know, like, all right, we're gonna reset it. They went in the back. And it was good to go.
Good to go. Did they? Did you use your own? Did like you bring your own controller, or did they provide you with like everything you need? Like, did you want to bring your own controller?
Sometimes you definitely want to bring your own controller because it's like a comfortability thing. You just know, like you just know your controller the best.
Right.
So
right.
They had these like plug-in controllers, which were all right. I end up actually using it because felt like it was better than mine. I had like the Xbox Elite controller, and I don't know what I did, but this is not it. But I just messed up with the analogs and like made them all funky. So I just end up using their controllers, and I end up winning with it. So I feel like there's no controller superstition for me. Only superstition I have is like I'll chew gum. I love chewing gum like during the game because it gets my thought process going. That's what they say about gum. Like your thoughts are way better, like you have enhanced thoughts while chewing gum because I don't know, it's just brain food, I guess.
Bro, I love that. I don't know if I'd ever heard that one before. I'm gonna take, so you need gum and you need your music in your ears. All right, I have a feeling this is gonna be a punch in the gut because I bet I might not even know who you say. Who you got in your ears, bro? Who are you listening to? What kind of music you need to hear while you're getting down to savagery?
As of late, it's been like I've been switching it up, but my main tournament run, I'd say I was listening to a lot of Kodak Black, a lot of Meek Mill.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else I had. It was just a lot of Kodak Black, a lot of Meek Mill, honestly, and then I had some like classics from Lil Wayne, Jay-Z that'll get you like right in the moment type of thing.
Oh, now it's talking.
Yeah, and that was pretty much it. I just had it on shuffle and it keep going, and then I had Lil Baby on it too because. There's this one album. It's called I forgot what it was called, but it had come out right when I was playing, and that album got me hyped too. So anything that could get me hyped in the moment, right, just like that, that's what I'm gonna listen to. I know some people listen to like sad music or like calming music. I'm like, that's always cool because you don't want to get too lost out in the moment. And it's happened to me where I listen to some hype stuff. I get lost out of the moment. Like
next thing you know, you're going for it on 4th and 31.
Yeah, I'm just in a rage moment. Yeah, for sure. But I could never listen to like that type of calm music or sad music. I'll live and die with my hype music, or I'll just live it. I'll use no music at all.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, that wasn't as bad as that's why it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Somebody put out like a tier list of music the other day, and some dude I literally had never heard of before was above like T-Pain, Kanye, and Meek Mill, and I was.
Do you know his name? Because I'm trying to see.
It's my boy. I can't. But poor Nico Cinco. His smaller streamer like me. His name is Nico
do you know
Cinco.
the guy? Do you know the guy who was ahead of all those guys? You're saying
NBA YoungBoy.
Oh, okay. I've listened to his some of his songs. He'll get you hype in the moment too.
Bro, so. I mean, I'm sure he's got some stuff, but I mean, the tier for T-Pain, Kanye, Meek Mill, and like a bunch of the other ones.
He's not.
We're like inconsistent, like sometimes got some good stuff, but like mostly inconsistent. I was like, bro, we got to rethink this whole friendship here.
I forgot about Kanye, but I really wasn't listening to him back then. As of late, I've been listening to a lot of Kanye. Hopefully he's stays true to his word. August 6th. Yeah, like when are you going to drop, my guy?
My man is on a different planet, yo. He's you see him out here in the stadiums, like walking around with like the.
He's trying to bring back that look from like what 5-6 years ago. Remember that when he would always, or it was maybe longer than that. He'd always have that mask on. It was a black mask before, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of iconic. But I mean, I don't know. He's definitely something's going on in his mind, man.
Yeah, bro, my man has got a lot of stuff going on in his mind. Okay, so we were talking about the IRL events, and I want to be respectful of your time here, brother. We're over an hour, but just like if you got just a few more minutes, a couple more things I wanted to. Okay, dope, sure. Man, awesome, thank you. So when events had to be virtual and they kind of had to like ship out all this stuff to, well, I don't even know. Let me not like load a question with information I don't know about. What was that like? Did they have to send equipment and mics? Did like people come to your house with like stuff to get like the room set up, or like what was the procedure as far as like doing this, like preparing for the remote show that we got to watch?
So what they had did was they did just send big like 4 or 5 boxes of equipment, man. And in this boxes of equipment, the first one I got, that was the worst one for sure. Basically, all the way in that back corner, there was like a big, like I'm talking about a big black box, and there it had like just a bunch of wiring. Right. It was basically like the internet thing. Like the internet was going through it, so go back to their side on the production side, so they could flip all the camera views and all this and that, get my game feed. That was the worst thing ever because that box weighed so many pounds, and it just took so long to set everything up. Ever since then, though, that was like Madden 20 Bowl. That was the first event they did it. That was a good tournament for me. It got Final Four. Ever since then, they switched it up. They send like smaller stuff. They send like 4 to 5 smaller briefcases.
Okay.
One will carry the laptop, and then from there, they can like get TeamViewer. It's like a thing where they could just get on your laptop and set everything up. From there, you just run your cords from your game and TV into there. And then you run one to the Ethernet back there, and one into the camera, set up a camera either here, over there, to get your, it's a lot. But the thing is, I'm blessed to like have done it so many times that's like second nature. I can knock it out in like 30 to 45 minutes now. Some people it takes longer. I remember my first few times it took like 5 to 6 hours, bro, because we couldn't find the things, and like we were beating around the bush, and like it was just we were overthinking it when in reality it's pretty simple. And then obviously they have the lights. You got to set up the lights with the different type of color. Yeah. They'll obviously have your face light, then they'll have like the big light where it'll be whatever color they ask you to choose. I've had red, I've had blue, and they'll face it towards the back barns, and then there'll be like a light here. Sometimes a fourth light somewhere over here. So it's lights, the camera, you got to set it up. That takes some time sometimes, but I'm good with that type of stuff now. I can just hook it up and make sure it's good. And then the wires, and then they do give you a choice to use their Xbox. I always just want to use mine, because why would I want to just set up another thing when I know my Xbox? It's the same Xbox. It'll be good to go. It'll save me some time. And then from that, they'll have like an iPad to prevent cheating. So what they'll do is like they'll have you set up an iPad camera and be in like a voice call like we are right now with one of the admins. They'll let you set it up somewhere over there to see like if you're looking to the side, or if you're looking to the CPU, if your CPU's on. That way they can prevent cheating. Yeah, it's a good thing.
What do you think, like, without giving us any methods, of course, I suppose, so they're looking for you getting like outside information, I guess, like if you had somebody in the room that was like watching, like getting coached up or something, like what are things that they're trying to protect against when they say cheating? Is that just it?
Yeah, it'd be like someone trying to like tell you something from the corner, or you have the second monitor on right here, and you're like looking back on the play as it's happening. Or you're even like have your phone somewhere here, and like you'll like subtly go like that to see just what's going on, or maybe someone texting you. But it's just a couple things like that, nothing too crazy. Like it's obviously cheating, but it's nothing like to extent where it's live, because you got to remember these games are like there's always going to be like a 15 to 20 second delay.
Right.
Cheating is cheating, but it's nothing like beyond that type of thing where someone's feeding you info.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's like a little more that I guess maybe than I anticipated goes into this setup, but that's good stuff. So obviously we can't necessarily be sure next year what's going to happen as far as in-person events or whether they're going to do it remotely again. And everyone's kind of like weighed in on this question all over last week too, but it seems like, I know you're like, I guess maybe more tapped into competitive than the content creation side, but a lot of these content guys noted that Madden 21 was such a down year compared to Madden 20, and everyone kind of like has their feelings about why that might have been. And I'm curious, Pavan, do you feel the same? Do you feel like 21 was like a lull, like kind of like a down year? And do you think like any reason for concern there? Or do you think 22 will hit? Well, I guess first of all, do you agree that 21 was a little bit of a down year compared to 20?
Are you talking about competitive wise or content wise?
Well, I guess from your perspective, you can give us both. So maybe competitive first.
Competitive wise, at least for me, I felt like Madden 21 was better. Obviously, I'm going to say that because I'm a passer.
Makes sense.
And it suited me well better. But I feel like there are obviously things that I didn't enjoy in this game. One of those was like the man-to-man send to meta. That got so old so fast. And for some reason, like they always man is always good in the beginning. Tip, guys, if you want to be good in the beginning of the year, just run man. Any Madden, it'll never fail you. Whether you run press man or shade up man, and you just like kind of run a cover one defense, man will be good always at the beginning of the year. But last year it was good, especially with like the bench press, and then he had one step ahead. Like, oh my god, don't even like, man was insane last year. And then the thing was, they didn't fix it. Like they always like patch man and kind of make it a little worse. You could still like make adjustments with man, like man up one individual player and like, or two even, but you can't just go out there sending two people every time. And last year they did not patch it, which was like, wow. We kept waiting like, oh yeah, it's going to happen. Oh, it's later than usual. It's going to happen. And then it went on to the club series time. Everyone was running man, including myself. I'd mix in man because, you know, I'm not a fool. I'm going to run what's good.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And that right there, I definitely did not enjoy. I saw someone say like, oh, the best passers found a way to beat it. And it was literally like one guy, unless you're running trips. Ghost found a nice thing to beat it, but it was literally one dude. Like I was having trouble versus man. People on trips still had trouble versus man. Like it was the worst. It was a high skill gap for sure, but you know, at some points, like, bro, you're doing the same thing every play. You're sending two people, and you're getting a shed super fast. I don't think that's really effective.
Right.
After that, you know, people started like doing this thing where they'd send 5 and they'd have like 3 El Toros or 3 double or nothings, which was, they shed it pretty fast. Don't get me wrong. I feel like there was a better skill gap in that, but what's it called? Like, it's just a lot of passing. Like, I feel like there should always be some type of moderation of passing, running in Madden. Like,
sure.
Even from coming from a passer, but like, don't make it to an extent where it's Madden 20 running, and don't make it an extent where it's Madden 21 running. Because Madden 21 running was terrible.
Yeah, not doable.
Full on mud. You get shedded. People shoot the gap from big nickel over G, or they run wide and they'll just use a rush you if you try to pass under center. So, you know, I'm gonna be neutral. Like Madden 21, like they had its moments of high level skill gap, but then again, like a lot of people were not able to do what they want to do. Joke was running trips. Joke usually would try to run under center. And I kind of feel like it was the same way for me in Madden 20, where I didn't have my abilities in club series time. And, you know, I feel like that's just not the way to go in Madden. Everyone should have what they want to have. Yeah. And from there, I feel like it would be a fair playing field. Like I said, Madden 20 running was just the game, not necessarily the abilities or whatever. Madden 21 running, once more the game. So maybe we'll get a balance next year. Who knows?
Yeah, man, I hope so. Are you like more or less happy with kind of the direction of the game as a whole? And not this isn't like a, you know, okay, what type of mess you got to talk on EA? Because I'm not a big like hater on
EA. I like that.
Yeah, I think they do a lot well, and I think we have a tendency as a community to come down.
It adds up, you know. It adds up.
It definitely does. Are you like more or less happy with the direction that you're seeing though, as far as the community and okay, beautiful. Yeah, tell me.
So I feel like the content, everyone is grinding content. And that could be contagious. When people are grinding content, more people will do it. It'll open up. I feel like the Twitch streams for everyone have been really, really well, especially when game comes out. Everyone's going to be supporting one another. And I feel like just the content has been on point with like YouTube videos, Twitch, and all that type of stuff. I feel like EA is going in the right direction and setting up a lot of these, as of late, they've been trying to, make like these tweets as in, weekend league warriors. I know this is a small step, but it's the right step. Give some of these players that don't have the recognition they deserve. And, Good Morning Madden. I feel like that's always a big dub. Like, I'll watch Good Morning Madden every day to see what new MUT cards come out, what new info comes out, new patch info, things like that. Like if they could just do more of it, then I feel like we already are in the right direction. But if they could get like, I know they do like these special streams for MUT promos, but if they could like get a way to like get some of the competitors or the influencer on Good Morning Madden type of thing, or some stuff like that, just gonna keep adding up in the right direction for sure.
I completely agree, bro, and I think you obviously should be on the very short list of guys that they should look to get involved on that front. So hell yeah, right, man. So I mean, as we kind of turn the corner and start to wrap this thing up, you let us know that you're going to be doubling down on the YouTube and the content. We'll see some streams out of you. We're also going to see the competitive Pavan that we all know and love. But as far as like looking to the immediate future, do you have any like specific plans that you have cooking up, or do you have like a plan of attack for when Madden 22 drops? Like what can we expect of you, and where can we catch up with your content over the next few weeks and then months here?
So me and Sahil were kind of planning and talking about like we want to kind of drop like a hype video for the Madden 22 season, something like that I'll watch every day. It'll motivate me and maybe others. And this would kind of be something like me just jogging on pace, or me kind of getting a workout in, to cutting to my famous Madden clips of me getting hype, me winning the bell or something like that. We're gonna try to work on something like that, and I feel like it'll be very high level. And that's something to start off Madden 22 with. But obviously, we're gonna have the in-game content, me streaming on my on Twitch. I'll have my YouTube videos up. All that is Pavan Lakhat, no spaces, Pavan Lakhat. But I'll have all that going on for me, and then I'm gonna try to get some tournament games on stream. I'll try my best, see how it goes, because it's very difficult to do that type of stuff, because you have to worry about the game, and then sometimes I'm gonna turn off the chat if I do that. But sometimes you always have that thing of like, oh, the chat is there, like the chat is watching. But I'm gonna try to get into my next element, my next mental stage, and just try to block all that type of stuff out. But we're gonna try to do that, and then I'm gonna try to eventually get into some type of fitness stuff and all that type of stuff. But that's for the future.
That's very exciting, man, bro. When you get to the fitness stuff, before I started streaming, my career was in fitness. I was a personal trainer for 7 years. So,
awesome.
So hold up now. I feel like I got to get some programming out to my man.
For sure. For sure, man. For sure.
That'll be the plan, bro. So, dude, man, I think this went exactly according to plan. It's like I keep like using this analogy. It's one of those things where like you see somebody like on TV over and over again, and you think like, man, I hope that I would root for them this hard if I knew them personally. And in your case, that's exactly how I feel after sitting and talking with you for coming up on an hour and a half here, bro. Your time is super valuable, and I'm so grateful that you spent some of it with us. We got to hear about your roots as the son of an immigrant father who worked his ass off to provide everything he did for your family, the oldest of your 4 siblings. I love to hear about your mindset on rewarding your sister for a job well done in school. I thought that was great for people to hear about. When you started telling me, when we asked about your Madden origin stories and you start talking about Madden Mobile, I got to be honest with you, my jaw dropped a little bit. I was like, tell me Pavan started Madden in Madden Mobile. I'm downloading that game. Expeditiously, bro.
I got to do a video where I do like throwback to Madden Mobile. Well, that'll come sometime.
Yeah, dude, you have to. The more content coming out from you, the better. And then, of course, sharing with us your experience, kind of what it looks like and what it feels like behind the scenes on the competitive side of it, being on the biggest stages that anyone can play on like you have. And, I just feel like you were able to give us such a great perspective, dude. I'm a bigger fan even now than I was, and I'm forever rooting for you in the games that I see you playing.
Boss.
Hell yeah, right. But bro, is there anything that you would like to leave the chat with, or anything that we didn't get to chat about yet that you wanted to, or any parting message for a bunch of your fans in the channel here?
Honestly, I just say, like, I'm happy for you that you started up this podcast, because I feel like a lot of people say, like, oh, I want to start it up, I'm gonna start a podcast. I am one of those people who said that in the past. I plan on doing something like this very, very soon, with the NFL season plus the Madden season coming out. So I'm gonna try to get on that, but it's not easy to start something like this up, because you have to stay busy. That's one thing. You have to stay, on it and consistent.
For sure.
That's another thing. And it's the initial startup was probably a little difficult, but you figured it out. You're almost to 25 episodes, so props to you. I know you, W, and forgive me if any other people are in this scene doing podcasts, but big dubs, man. The more, the merrier. So, I'm rooting for you to keep doing this, because, this is some awesome work, and, I'll see you around, man.
Bro, that means a lot to me, Pavan. Like I said,
No
bro,
worries.
a bigger fan now even than I was when we got on the call, man. Your time is super valuable. I'm so grateful that you had a little bit to spend with us here. I know the chat was excited to have you ever since I dropped the schedule, man. You're a legend. We're all pulling for you in the year to come, and we'll see you out here in these Twitch and YouTube streets, man. Pavan, You're a legend, brother. Thank you so much for your time. You did a great job too. Before I let you go, for someone who before you started out, like, maybe you weren't as comfortable with this stuff, you were a natural. The interview was super easy, bro.
Yeah.
Flowed so well. So not only is your Madden work fruitful, everything else that you're doing to work on yourself is also seems to be super successful, and I root for good people, bro. So I'm rooting for you, Pavan. You're a legend, bro.
Thank you, man. And everyone in the Twitch chat, thank you for tuning by. I'll see you guys around. Take it easy.
A pleasure and an honor. Pavan, man, we'll catch you next time, bro.
Peace out.